All right, do a quick trade recap. Market just opened, but I took a few plays. All right, first we got to start with the pre-market plan. What type of moves we're looking for and why. So if we look at the higher time frame, the market had started to balance out. You can see that balance right there. Kind of between this 500, the 5480 level, and then up here at the 575s to the 5600 level. So basically, I wanted to watch the reaction at this low, this 5500 level, which was not the complete low of the balance because that was, but it was a key level nevertheless, and it bounced the market right here in the pre-market. So I'm watching basically two moves. I'm either watching for if we do bounce off this level, and we can claim above this short-term res. I'd like to see this res hold for upside, moving into these highs, or if we break to the lows, I want to see this level hold for a retest for downside, which is what happened. But we get into my actual execution. One sec. Okay, I ended up taking 3 trades. This first one was a quick loss that I cut. I did end up losing almost 6 points on that, which is more than I want to, but it was just unfortunate. I'll get into that a little bit more in a sec. Then I got in another long, scaled out some of it here, and then the other half of it hit my stop loss. That was about a break-even trade, and then I just caught that short to the downside. Got some good scale outs down here, but we'll get into why I took the trades. So I said I didn't want to go longs unless we saw buying off this level and could sustain value above here. However, I started to see some confirmation down here, which was showing me we might get a reversal. And this is definitely a scenario that can play out. It's just lower probability, and you have to know that. And you have to be ready to cut early if red flags appear, and you can't get too married to the trade. You have to realize that if it loses, it loses, and you got to move on, which is exactly what happened today. So you look at open, strong aggressive buying, or selling rather, into our low. And then we kind of start to see some buying coming in off of this level. And this is actually, I'm pretty sure where I got long. No, okay, I got long on this second pop. Start to see some buying, start to see this level possibly hold. I'm thinking that we might bounce this level. I get in here, quickly sell off right after. I have to cut that position. It was going to hit my stop loss anyway, but I probably saved myself a tick or two. Then that trade is still setting up. I start to see kind of the same thing. This bid down here is defending some sellers. There's some buying activity coming off, and I want to give this thing a shot. And I got back in, giving it one more try, knowing if this loses, I'm done with the setup. And this one actually had much better risk. I was risking less than 4 points on this, and I was risking almost 6 on the first. But we got a little push up. I scaled a few contracts right around 2R, just past 2R, and then we did eventually sell off, and I got stopped out. So at this point, took a quick loss there, got in here, took some scale outs, and then we're selling off. So now what I'm looking for is that initial really high probability play that I had planned for, which was if this level breaks, I want to see this level now hold as resistance for a move at least into these 5480s. So I actually got my entry on this candle. We didn't get quite as much of a pullback as I wanted to in this level, so I did size down just a little bit on this position because I would have been willing to take it again if I stopped out here and maybe we found some resistance or confirmation up in here. But I got short on this pullback, which you can see on the tape. 938. So there's aggressive break of the low, or that 5550 or the 5500 level. Aggression coming in, breaking through all these bids, and then we get this pullback. And yeah, this is where I want to see a little bit more of a pullback, but it's not always going to be perfect. An ideal entry would have been somewhere up here, but got this pullback. Can start to see selling defend here. This offer breaks right here. See the offer goes away, reloads in. We got that re-offer up here. That is a good bullish or bearish sign. Started to see some selling, and I went ahead and took the short, looking for that push into the 480s. Got that. Got a little push further, and yeah, now market's figuring out what it wants to do next. I'm probably going to be done for the day there. We have some big news coming out in 9 minutes, and a decent amount off that trade. I'm happy with how I executed, so probably going to call it.